is there a bipartisan group of House members talking about immigration like we're seeing now in the Senate, that group of Democrats and Republicans who say they're trying to come up with solutions?
Yes, the Problem Solvers Caucus you mentioned before that Fred and I are both part of, this is one of our big areas of focus, and it has been for years, looking for a solution here. You know, we have in the past really focused on dreamers and making sure that we find a pathway in the United States to keep our dreamers here. And also we've looked at things like temporary workers, like agriculture workers that are key to farms in the United States. And we've discussed, and we're in the middle of discussions on a longer term comprehensive approach that obviously lives up to our values, but keeps our borders secure. So this is an area, and I'll tell you, Fred is one of the leaders in this area on the Republican side who knows that we've got to find a solution.
And let's talk about that, Congressman Upton, because House Republicans, some of them, many of them, have criticized President Biden's approach to immigration. But what solutions do you have to offer? How do you settle on an immigration policy that is both humane, as President Biden says he wants it to be, but is also effective?
Well, you know, former President Trump challenged the Congress to actually deal with this issue, and we failed. Now, we never got legislation to his desk. We know that it has to be bipartisan. It has to include border security. But let's take a look at some of what I would consider the low-hanging fruit. How can we help our agriculture sector to make sure that we're actually able to harvest the crops that we're producing here? What do we do with the millions of dreamers that came at age 2, 3, 4 years old, and now it's been 15 or 20 years later? They're integrated into our system. Some of them are married. They're working. They've been educated. What do we do about their status? Those are some of the things we have to work on. But I actually have hope. I mean, I know that Senator Durbin has got what I think is a bipartisan working group that met this last week. This crisis, and it is a crisis at the border now, as we've seen 15,000 kids that came in. We've got issues in terms of COVID testing and those other issues as well. We have to deal with this. One of the things that I strongly believe in, particularly as people are looking at asylum to come into this country, that they should remain in their host country, that we should rely on our embassies there, our embassy staff there, to do that background checks and that type of thing, versus having them come here where, in essence, they don't have the same type of connections. But the bottom line, we got to work together. It's a crisis. We have divided government. The Problem Solvers Caucus, which is a bipartisan group, equally divided between Republicans and Democrats, has rolled up our sleeve, and we've actually passed 2 bills now in this Congress, as well as the last Congress, but the Senate never took action. Let's hope that that's going to change.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.